Good morning, I'm Frank Kaufmann. I'm doing a piece this morning entitled, How Constantly Difficult the Path. The ideas came to me from some reading I was doing this morning, and the person I was reading today operates from a theistic starting point, so they'll use God and this type of language which is characteristic of the theistic traditions. Of course, there are people in non-theistic traditions, and there are simply conscientious people who strive to improve ourselves and to become better by whatever variety of means. People who listen to my podcast know that I regard this distinction on how one defines God or the ultimate or the absolute or the infinite should never function as a point of difference among people. And that I believe that our intuition into the all, or that which is the wellspring of our deepest aspiration and inspiration, is just particular based on the vicissitudes of where you were born, what religious tradition into which you were born, or none at all. People born in the modern period, or certainly in the modern developed areas, tend to suffer from societies that have lost the keen insights into the value of religious life. So this particular teacher operates from a theistic basis or worldview, but I believe that the insights and the information and guidance available from within the thoughts are valuable and universally applicable. So I'm going to go ahead and read what I read this morning. Contradiction, struggle, and destruction have filled the chapters of human history. Fallen humanity, or you can just say humanity, namely our own historical and present reality, came under a defiled culture, or generated a defiled culture, which is characterized by struggle and division, contrary to God's history or good history, which seeks for unity and harmony. Yet, even in the evil world, all men and women have an innate original human desire. That inner desire, many recognize as conscience, always tries to lead us back to the original center, God. To return to God, or to return to the realms of goodness, one must be saved or rescued or extirpated from corrupt surroundings. That is why those who are heading toward the original God-centered point, or the original realm of goodness, those who are heading toward this realm always have gone through tremendous struggles. This reading, in my opinion, is extremely helpful. It introduces a number of things which I think can be appropriated and inherited and applied, and can help us in a number of important ways. The thoughts approach human reality from the perspective of history. It starts out with contradiction, struggle, and destruction have filled the chapters of human history. So this is undeniable. There is no human being alive now or who has ever lived who can deny the fact that a tremendous amount of life in the world and human experience is characterized by contradiction, struggle, and destruction. All of human history has this perpetually, relentlessly, and at times overwhelmingly defined by this hideous force and forces which undo every part of our desire to live peacefully and live happily. Contradiction, struggle, and destruction. So as a result of this, or perhaps the rails on which this travels and continues to exist today, is a defiled culture. It's a corrupt culture. The speaker speaks of even a satanic culture. This is a culture which is defined by struggle and division, and then introduces contrary to God's history or good history, which seeks for unity and harmony. So actually there are two parts of the human experience, 100% extant in the experience of every living human being and every human being that's ever lived. Everyone has experienced the desire, or has actually experienced unity and harmony, just as everyone has experienced the horrible outcomes and the horrible impact of contradiction, struggle, and destruction. So no matter how difficult my life, if someone has helped me in any way, we experience the exact opposite of contradiction and struggle. We experience a move towards a oneness. We well up with gratitude. If I'm starving and someone gives me food, the gratitude is immense, is enormous. And so it is that every human accomplishment is a reflection of unity and harmony. If you see a beautiful building, it means an enormous amount of collaboration, from architects to engineers to builders to people risking their lives in high places, to the creation of the machinery that it takes to put buildings together. Music, compositions, orchestras, a family. Everything that is good and delightful and attractive to see is a reflection of unity and harmony. So history and culture is universally experienced by the human being in two ways. Culture has this contradiction and struggle. It's ugly in that regard. It's unequal in that regard. It's oppressive. It's tyrannical. It is dismissive. It denies the humanity of our fellow person around us. And there is that other side, which he describes, that regardless of how much culture is defined by this negative, or what he calls fallen reality of contradiction and struggle, there is in every human being an innate original human desire. The conscience always tries to lead us back to the original center, God, or by whatever you want to call it or define it or feel it or sense it, whatever it is, that which calls us to desire not only that within myself is peace and harmony, in my relationships are peace and harmony, and I definitely prefer that within my culture is peace and harmony. I don't want people mistreating others or mistreating me or mistreating my family. But in order to return to the realm of goodness, or to return to God, he uses God, in order to return, we have to be in some way saved from corrupt surroundings, or rescued from them, or find our own way out of them, or get out of them. It is the nature of living in a culture that is corrupted or fallen, or what he even calls satanic culture, that its inherent and innate dynamic is contradiction, struggle, destruction, not natural destruction, but evilly generated destruction of that which is wholesome and good and should be preserved. So in order to realize and bring to fruition our innate human desire, the desire of conscience, our innate human desire to get back to the original center, or as the speaker says, get back to God, one has to be kind of ripped out of, or get out of, or somehow leave behind these corrupt surroundings, the culture around us. That's the challenge. And his final line is, and that is why those who are heading toward the original God point, the original point of goodness, the original wellspring of unity and harmony, which is our innate desire, in order to get to that, those who are headed toward the original God-centered point have gone through tremendous struggles. This is the main point I want to address, and why I'm even talking about this at all, is because those of us who try, and that's everybody really in some way or another, trying to get better, we are constantly met with Why is it hard? Why doesn't it go well? Why do good people have to struggle? Why are there struggles? Why are good people opposed? And the response here is that the fallen culture, or the history of culture, or what has amassed over the production of human history, that is characterized and is by nature contradictory, struggle, and destructive, then naturally the effort to move toward an original source point that is directly opposite, and in order to be separated from the culture that surrounds us, of course there's going to be tremendous struggles. So the path of people doing good, the path of the saints, the path of the martyrs, the path of those who are trying to be good in high school, or trying to be good in college, or trying to be good in the army, or trying to be good in government, those who are headed toward the original God-centered point have gone through tremendous struggles. It's a treacherous path. It's a difficult path because it requires separating from the culture that has amassed through history, that has defined history, and that flourishes and surrounds us now. So we shouldn't feel disappointed or angry or upset or resentful on our path toward goodness or toward God. We shouldn't feel like, why isn't this going well, or why am I opposed, or why are people trying to block my way, or why do I have the constant internal arising of enmity toward my own striving. This is natural. It's natural. We shouldn't be disappointed or discouraged on this walk or on this move toward God. We should actually just take interest in it. Of course we're going to go through struggles. We're going against the historical tide. There's something about there's all kinds of cosmologies about the origin of human difficulties, or what characterizes them in terms of why people can't behave properly. But however we interpret it, to get away from that and to get toward a godly way, both for myself and to try to contribute to and build out a godly culture, or a culture that's characterized by goodness and unity and harmony, those who do that have always gone through tremendous struggles. So we should welcome them. We should welcome those struggles. They're normal. In a way they're kind of the people standing beside the road on the marathon trying to hand us a cup of water. They're proof that they're proof that we're doing a good job. These struggles. Of course we're going to go through struggles if you look around and see how widespread is the nature of human evil, is the nature of corrupt society and corrupt culture. Look at any of the industries. Look at the entertainment industry. Look at the television news media industry. Look at the music industry. Look at how corrupt and vile and evil these things are. It's normal. So the path to goodness will always be characterized, not always, but it will surely at times be characterized by, as this writer or as my teacher says, tremendous struggles. That's fine with me. Really, that's fine with me. I don't mind tremendous struggles. Now, especially now that I recognize that these are perfectly normal and to be expected, now the work gets interesting, instead of something I resent or wonder, why is that so unfair or something like that. So that's just my thought. I was inspired by the writing. I enjoyed or appreciated this view of history and culture as helping to shine a light back on my daily life and my efforts to improve not only myself, but to be a positive contributor to a culture that would be characterized by unity and harmony. Thanks a lot for listening. I look forward to be back with you again soon.